You love to have guys like that in your lineup that can fill into a spot and do a great job.
Chopper on the infield. Going up the ladder for it is Josh White, and a good strong throw over to first. That's a nice play by Josh White to backpedal a couple of steps and time the jump, because that looked to me like it was going to get out to left field. And a nice play by a tall guy, too.
Great play by White. Had to feel it and read it off the bat. Knew he could not charge it. He had to play it off that high bounce. So he had to back up a step, but the good arm of White throwing out Jeff Nowacek at first base.
Leighton Reed with a bit of a laugh as he pushes Federico Eder out of the circle and back to the shortstop position. We'll go to Jonathan Lynch in the 9 spot. And Joe, I've been saying this all week, not your prototypical 9 batter. Great wheels. He's got power to the gaps and down the lines, turns doubles into triples. And this one is laced out into right field. He's going to take a big turn, throw out the anchor, and actually slip a little on that wet soil and scramble back to first, and then laugh about it with Coach Ron Hackett over there at first base.
Well, I'm glad they can laugh and smile, because really it's just a kid's game with men playing it.
That it is, and we all have fun doing it. So another single, the 4th of the game by the Twins. This one with 2 out. Back to the top of the shop, Teo Migliavaca got things rolling with a single. Up to second on the hit by Cam Schiller. Came around and scored the RBI single by Marshall Cronk. Fouled that one straight back into the glove. Lynch can steal a base if called upon. Van Lieshout has got a good arm behind the plate. To the hip, and on the move, there goes Lynch. We just talked about it, and steals this one as the pitch gets through Van Lieshout, and up to second base goes Jonathan Lynch. Eder's having a laugh with everybody out there. Now he's over talking to Jonathan Lynch. And listen, if you can't have fun playing this, as you just talked about,
you got Leighton Reed just missing that outside corner of that plate. Van Lieshout kind of framing it for home plate umpire Randy McLam.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Top of the second inning. Runner on second. Deuces are wild here, Joe. Change up. Multi-hopper out to Tyler Dudley. Gets down in front of it, and he throws out Teo Migliavaca. So they strand the single and the stolen base through 2 complete. Twins 1, Dukes no score.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
So we're back here to the top of the 3rd inning. Twins and Dukes. This one moving along okay, Joe Todd, as the Twins enjoying this 1-0 lead. Josh White, Zane Van Lieshout, Tom Crouch, the designated player, back into the lineup tonight for the CT Dukes. 7, 8, 9 batters. Haven't been able to get a sniff just yet against Sean Cleary. See if big, tall Josh White can change that. Misses downstairs.
Circle Tap suffered their lone loss last Wednesday night when they lost to the Kitchener Cubs 5-2. That dropped them down to that losers bracket.
Well, that was one of those games where Ryan Sinclair hit the leadoff home run off of Huemo Mata, and you thought, and that was the first run that Mata had given up, and you thought, maybe he's human after all. And then in the bottom of the inning, the Cubs got it all right back as Alan Pecker hit a 2-run shot, and all of a sudden they're jumped out to a lead, and they never looked back. Swing and a miss, good inside drop there from Sean Cleary. We got that center field camera cleaned off and back in action. That's just such a great shot. My favorite shot of the tournament is this camera angle. Swing and a miss over the top. Again, another good drop from Sean Cleary. Josh White down on strikes. The third strikeout of the evening for Cleary. Joe, I think it was you and I did the game earlier in the week with Sean where he filled up about 7 strikeouts in the first 3 innings. And then after that, just got a slew of ground balls over the final 4 innings to finish out the game. It was like 11 of the last 12 outs were ground balls. And that is, to me, Sean Cleary can be a power pitcher, can be a strikeout pitcher, but can also just be a ground ball machine and use the defense behind him.
He can adapt very quickly. The big trick about that, keeping those ground balls, is keeping that ball low. All those pitches that you see then that are driven into the ground have to be pitched at the waist or below. And if a catcher and a pitcher are on that same role and same thought process, that'll work for you.
Well, they started Van Lieshout with an outside rise ball, got a little too much back inside there, but Van Lieshout a little late in fouling it off. Novacek over there looking for the ball, but a Dukes fan just threw it down further into the concourse. He's not giving that one back if Cleary wants it. So Van Lieshout in a hole 0-2. Sean looks like he got pretty much a brand new ball. You see it in his glove there. It looked pretty white. He'll want to go to the Gorilla Gold, make sure he's got a little tackiness on the hand. And this one misses outside. Not going to get Van Lieshout to chase after that pitch.
Chapman back up for the second time now, warming up down that right field line.
I'm sure the Dukes were hoping they could get through the lineup at least once with Leighton Reed. And this one fouled off at the plate. And he's done that. He's got through the lineup once. It's turned over, but it's only been 2 innings. But those are 2 innings that Chapman or Ramon Godoy haven't had to throw. And they can go one more with Leighton Reed without giving up a run. They'll probably be in pretty good shape to make a switch. The trick is to get through 2, 3, 4 in the Twins lineup without giving up a run. Upstairs. So you had Van Lieshout in a hole, Joe, 0-2, and I think he's now run it 2-2 anyway. I thought maybe that was 3-2, but 2-2 here to Van Lieshout, but those last 2 pitches really haven't been that close.
The only time Sean Cleary really gets himself into tough situations is when he walks a few too many. Got in that rut the other night of having 4 walks. Very uncharacteristic of Sean.
Well, he got a strikeout looking there with Zane Van Lieshout. Caught watching. And we'll go to Tom Crouch, the designated player. And the one thing the Dukes can't afford to do here, as you just suggested, is let Sean Cleary get onto a roll. They want to break up this momentum that he's on right now, because otherwise it can be just like a train going downhill.
Well, Sean just gave up the 1 hit last night in that loss to the Gremlins, but that 1 hit being a game-winning home run by Ben Anoka.
Well, I watched the replay of that pitch, and it was a bit of a mistake. As you talked about it on the call, they left it out over the plate, and Benny Anoka, they've always, Sean and Ryan, when I say they, even though Benny played with them for 3 years with the Gators, they've always had problems with Benny both before and after that.
And they're not the only team.
No, they are far from the only battery to have trouble with Benny and Oka. Good look here at Tom Crouch. And swing and a miss on that changeup. You can see how devastating that is. It's out on the front foot, and the backside flares out when you can't stop the swing when that ball is geared down like that. Great changeup from Sean Cleary. Strikes out the side. We will go to the home half of the third. The Twins still out in front.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Bench before the ball even reached the plate.
So the Boys of Summer is the annual event here at Circle Tap. And then we were here in July. We're right back here for the ISC World Tournament. Long a dream of Darren Derricks to bring the World Tournament here to Circle Tap. Made a lot of improvements, Joe Todd. The concrete around the concourse, the new fencing, the 16-foot fence in the outfield, the extension of the deck on the bar, all the other improvements, the new scoring structure here that doubles as the warehouse for all of the baseball equipment. It's just been an absolute treat to be here this week as Cam Schiller, first pitch swinging, laces this one down the line where there is some parking down there, some VIP parking, I think, and other types of parking, and somebody might want to go check their car for a dent on the door.
Leighton Reed threw a little bit of a change up to Cam Schiller, and Schiller read it early. Quite surprised to see a changeup come early in that count. Really don't like that.
You don't like the first pitch changeup?
No.
Seemed to work last night for Pablo Migliavaca as he went, not last night, the night before, as he come on in relief of Adam Folkert and really threw a good game against the Fargo Kegel Black Knights and picking up the win here today against the Toronto Batmen. Pablo also sandwiched in the middle of that would take the loss against the Cubs. Daniel Chapman continuing to throw down the right field bullpen. Got to think that he gets into any trouble. There you see Daniel, that if Leighton Reed gets into any trouble, Chapman will be on this inning. This one well hit. It might be too late. Back to the fence. They're going to play that off the scoreboard. Ryan Sinclair can't catch up to it, and it's a double for Cam Schiller. Ryan Sinclair did a good job to recognize that he wasn't going to get that ball, but he was going to have the opportunity to play the carom. It's live off of the scoreboard, and Cam Schiller, a double here at John Miller Field.
Well, Ryan Sinclair played it very intelligently as he sat back off that scoreboard, picked up the clean bounce, was maybe 10 or 15 feet away from the scoreboard. You really don't want to charge yourself going back to that fence if you realize it is going to rebound off that board.
Yeah, you got to just give yourself a bit of room. He couldn't pick it up quite cleanly off the hop. Got it and got it in quickly enough to keep Schiller to second base. Colin Walsh will step back in. Walsh is strikeout victim in the first.
Walsh has moved up and down the order for the Twins. Started off early in the week.
Chopper here on the infield. That's going to be a tough play to get him. He runs well. Then Leashout thinks better of throwing it to first and keeps Cam Schiller at third base, as Schiller had come well around the corner and might have tried to score had they thrown that ball. So good thinking there by Van Leashout, knowing that he was not going to get Walsh the way that he broke out of the box and the way that ball rolled away from Van Leashout up towards the middle infield.
That circle top door just opened up, and I thought Scott Sandifer was walking through, and then he shut it. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him.
Well, Kronk with the RBI single in the first, and now Though they throw down to second as they got the members bounce off the fence. And into second goes Colin Walsh. Had that been a normal situation, they would have thrown right through and had him easily. But Cam Schiller on third was waiting to scamper home. So now with runners on second and third, Joe, you've got an open base. Do you pitch around Marshall Kronk and try to go after Pat Burns, who's been struggling here this week?
I would play those numbers, exactly. Yeah, Burns has not had a great week so far. He might be due, but he has not shown anything.
Josh White keeping things calm on the infield. Blair Ezekiel is well off the bag at first. Everybody has moved around playing the pull. Infield is in. Swing and a miss by Kronk. This plays into the hands of the Twins. Kronk typically hits the ball hard, and with the infield drawn in, not much time to get to a hard hit ball. Bleeder, White turns, looks Schiller back, throws out Marshall Kronk at first. Exactly what the doctor ordered, Joe.
Nice clean play. Ball down in the dirt, so if Kronk was going to do anything with it, he was just going to hit in the dirt. Good defense there by the Circle Tap Dukes. Picking up that first out of the inning, that very important first out.
Yeah, now they've got to go after Patrick Burns here and see if they can get an out without allowing the run. There's a called strike. Blair Ezekiel again, 10 feet off the bag at first. Tyler Dudley creeps in. Swing and a miss by Pat Burns, chasing upstairs from Leighton Reed. Federico Eder is shaded towards second, but he is behind the baseline. Josh White in a step and off the line a step and a half.
Eder does have a very good arm, so the ball happens to go to that side and Schiller decides to take off. Eder does have the gun to
change up and just sticking the bat out to deflect it into foul territory. Pat Burns stays alive in the box. Eder's got an absolute cannon. He's been rock solid defensively for the Dukes over there. Several standout plays here this week, including a couple more in the game earlier today against the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. So the 0-2 to Burns. Reed kicks, deals, swing and a miss. Down goes Patrick Burns. That was the strikeout that they needed to get from Leighton Reed there. Now you can let the infield play back at the normal depth.
big strikeout, big part of the game right there.
Ryan Boland will step in. Boland upstairs, and Ryan Boland tracked that pitch all the way into the glove of Zane Van Lieshout. Leighton Reed still smiling out there, Joe Todd. Nothing seems to bother this kid too much. Having the time of his life, and really, where else would you rather be?
Yes, exactly.
Up and away for ball two. Good hitters count here for Ryan Boland. Deep breath. Steps back into the box.
Boland with 2 home runs already this week.
And upstairs, ball three. One of them was opposite field, too. I asked Ryan after the game if he's using a heavier bat. Normally, pretty much a pull hitter. Center right to right. And taking all the way for strike one. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Runners on second and third. Kitchener-Hallman Twins trying to extend their 1-0 lead. Called strike 2 on the outside corner. Boland let that one go by.
Full count here by Leighton Reed against Ryan Boland.
And went after this one and fouled it straight back into the screen. Ryan Boland, I think, would like that pitch back, Joe Todd.
I would think so. Going to be interesting to see what St. Van Lieshout's talking to Leighton Reed about here. Maybe a possible change of speed or just to throw the timing of Ryan Boland off here.
Joe told on the gun that Leighton Reed touching 78. I think that gun is about 5 miles an hour slow, to be honest. I am not putting much faith in that one. Time called as Reed can't get on the same page as Van Lieshout. Boland, who does this for a living, wearing a path out to the pitcher. Randy McLam following Van Lieshout straight out with that one. And he'll reel him back and get him back in behind home plate.
Well, that was the third time that Van Lieshout has gone out to see Leighton with this plate appearance or with his batter.
Ball 4, down and away. Ryan Boland, a good eye at the plate. That pitch was close, but down and out.
Third baseman number 24, Andy Skelton.
You surprised that Leighton Reed's still in the game?
A little bit. He's shown the ability to pitch out of these jams, but he's also shown the ability to get himself into one. And this one downstairs, ball 1 to Andy Skelton.
Bases loaded here now.
Yeah, now you don't have anywhere to put a base runner or a batter. And you've got to come after Andy Skelton, but at the same time, you can't just lay it in there. Called a strike up and in on Andy Skelton.
Andy has a lot of bat speed there. Good twist to the arms. Very strong upper body.
2 balls, 1 strike, and Reed really in danger of getting into a spot here where he's going to have to come in to Andy Skelton. That plays right into the strengths of Skelton. Chases upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Can the youngster wriggle out of this jam? Can the veteran, Andy Skelton, produce a couple of runs? Swing and a miss upstairs, works into a jam and works out of it. Great pitching there by Leighton Reed, and a big smile as he comes off the field with Zane Van Lieshout. A fist bump from Scott Standifer. We'll see if that gives the Dukes some momentum. We're going to head to the top of the 4th coming up.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York. So back here on the ISC Network,
Federico Eater, Manuel Godoy, Blair Ezekiel. Can the Circle Tap Dukes build off of that momentum? A big holy Houdini act from Leighton Reed as he gets out of that bases loaded jam. Big strikeout of Andy Skelton. Second time through. Sorry.
Yep, second time through the order now. We'll see if the top part of the Circle Tap Dukes lineup can pick up on little idiosyncrasies that Sean Cleary might have showed. Potential pitch sequences, movement of the ball.
Top of the shop, Ryan Sinclair. Called a strike. Joe Randy McLean, one of the best in the business back there. One of the nicest guys in the business, too, down here in July. And Randy offered to give me a ride back to the airport at one point. I needed a ride to Green Bay, and Randy's like, hop in with me. That's where I'm going. Lifted up by Sinclair. Schiller will range back a couple of steps on the grass and reel that in for first out of the inning.
Shortstop, number 11, Federico Eder.
So now, Federico Eder dropped a bunt down in his first trip. It took an outstanding play by Sean Cleary to just nab him at first. Joe, it looks like it's Roman Godoy now throwing overhand in the bullpen. I'm sure that's just a prelude to getting loose.
Yeah, just stretching.
Swing and a miss by Federico Eder. So that leads me to believe that we're either going to see Daniel Chapman this inning or we're going to see more of Leighton Reed. I think if it was Chapman, he'd be out there throwing still. I think Leighton Reed will be coming back in, and they're going to try to squeeze another inning out of him.
I would think so now. Pull him out of that tough jam.
Just missing on the outside.
Big part of that whole first three innings for the Hallman Twins is that they left 6 runners on base.
Well, he's worked into and out of jams every single inning.
Only scored the 1 run, so Circle Tap are staying in the game.
Fouled straight back to the screen. Boland is looking up at the ball that was fouled off by Manuel Godoy 2 games ago and stuck in the screen. Right now, the Circle Tap Dukes have got to be more worried about how silent their bats have gone than Leighton Reed. They need to get something moving here with the offense. They need a runner.
Well, one of the keys of our game was to get to Sean Cleary early. They've been once through the order now. Sean gets tougher as that game gets rolling.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Sean gains more confidence as that game progresses.
Well, he struck out 3 of the last 4. He struck out the side in the third, got the pop fly to open things here in the fourth. 5 strikeouts in total for Sean through the first 3 and a third. Cleary will step back and off. Again, we're going to try and run and slap through. Schiller's got a long way to go get that, but Teo Migliavaca arrives on the scene from center field. And just about at the edge of the dirt, Joe Todd makes his catch. He had to come a long way to pick that up.
Great range, great speed by Teo Migliavaca to pick up that ball. And then communicate with the shortstop to bail out after he knows he's got a handle on it.
Yeah, Schiller, who was playing in to protect against the bunt, turned to go back and try and get that. He was not going to get there. The only guy to get it was Migliavaca, and he did. Godoy, fooled by the changeup, lifts this one up in the infield. Novacek calling for it. Hauls it in for the final out of the inning. Sean Cleary putting on a clinic here right now. Circle Tap Dukes trailing 1-0. We're going to go to home half of the fourth. Stay with us on the ISC Network.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailor to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
There you see Daniel Chapman, the new pitcher for the Circle Tap Duke. So obviously he got enough work in the bullpen, Joe, to head back into the game. And after 2 innings against Fargo and then having to cool down through the Hill United game and wait out a rain delay, he's back warm and out on the board. He will face Jeff Novacek, Jonathan Lynch, and then back to the top of the shop for Teo Migliavaca.
Well, it's all hands on deck now for the Circle Tap Dukes.
Well, the pitchers are doing their job. I mean, they've given up the 1 run, but nothing so far from the offense from the Circle Tap Dukes. And you got to score to win. I don't know, is 1 run going to hold up, do you think, through this one? Not the way that the Dukes have been scoring runs this
There's a lot of low-scoring games in the last 24 hours. Roman Godoy continues to warm up down that.
Well, as you said, it's all hands on deck, so it'll be next man up if Chapman runs into trouble. Fouled off by Novacek, tried to hold back, but the bat was just into the zone enough to foul it off. Novacek, a ground out to third in his first trip. Foul this one back into the screen. One of those fouls up there is going to knock that other ball down. And somebody's going to be surprised when 1 goes up and 2 come back down. This one well hit by Jeff Novacek. Coming across, and it's off the glove of center fielder Ryan Sinclair. Good strong throw, though, holds Jeff Novacek to a double right up against the fence. Ryan Sinclair reaching out, but just tipping off the end of his glove. Didn't roll far, though, and he was able to pick that up and get it back in. Maybe we'll get a look at that again on that attempt by Ryan Sinclair. Had a long way to go to get to it.
Shows you the strength in the upper body of Jeff Novacek. Hitting that ball the other way and driving it the full 240, 245 out there.
Jonathan Lynch now will step in. And he puts down a beauty of a bunt. It's going to take a play to get him. Blair Ezekiel bluffs the throw to third. Nobody covering second. Eder will sprint back over there to make sure that Lynch stays at first. And speed kills Joe Todd. Beautifully executed bunt by Jonathan Lynch. Dropped it into no man's land in that triangle out there between the charging first baseman, the catcher, and the charging third baseman. And no opportunity to get the speedster Lynch. Look for him to be on the move virtually right away, I would think. He's been called over by the skipper, Steve Kuzer. They'll have an offensive conference, I guess you could call it, while the defense is having one of their own.
Well, number 8 and number 9 batters coming through for the Hallman Twins.
So they've set the table for Teo Migliavaca at the top of the shop. That's what you want your 8 and 9 batters to do. And downstairs dropped and picked up immediately by Van Lieshout. Nobody out. He said I would expect to see Lynch on the move pretty quickly. We'll see what the defense has got in the store.
Van Lieshout has a gun too, so that's going to create a good scenario here.
Took a little bit off of it and fouled back to the screen by Migliavaca, able to read the change in speed. Chapman amongst the hardest throwers here this week. I think they had him on the gun around 78, 79. Again, I personally, just my personal opinion, think that gun seems a little slow based on some of the prior readings that we were getting on these guys earlier in the summer. Just called a strike on the outside corner. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Teo Migliavaca.
Very important here that Chapman keeps that ball low. You do not want a ball getting away from you in this situation.
Again, the circle tap. Duke's defense is in. Swinging a foul back by Migliavaca.
Migliavaca just missed that pitch.
Putting a lot of pressure on the defense right now are the Twins, forcing circle tap into these pressure situations where you've got to make the play. You can't afford a bobble or it will cost you a run. And this one gets away from Chapman to the screen, but Van Lieshout scrambles and keeps it in front of him. And the short porch here works to circle tap's advantage. It's only, Joe, 6 feet from the catcher to the, maybe 7 feet from the catcher to the screen?
Yes, very, very tight in there. Good clean bounces have been there all week.
Upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Migliavaca. A single, run scored, and a ground out in his first 2 trips. Already his 3rd plate appearance just in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss over top. Good hard drop there from Daniel Chapman. That's a big strikeout needed there. Brings up Cam Schiller. Single and a double so far this game.
Shortstop number 4, Cam Schiller.
Chapman comes into this game with 11 innings pitched and 24 strikeouts.
Downstairs. If you were watching there, you might have seen Jonathan Lynch pat the top of his head. There's Patrick Burns, who has been out throwing some pitches in the bullpen. That's interesting. Downstairs, Chapman wavering a little bit here with that drop. The rise ball certainly working, but the drop having trouble finding the range at the moment. Can't find it there either. So 3 balls, no strikes to Cam Schiller.
Chapman's thrown a lot of pitches here. Just his first inning of work.
And ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Cam Schiller. That will load the bases for Colin Walsh.
First baseman number 16, Colin Walsh.
Walsh singled with that little infield, excuse me, check swing where he legged it out. Van Lieshout, another visit out to the mound. Tyler Dudley talking with Chapman. Trot back to his second base position. Walsh will step in. Opportunity here for the Twins to break this one open. 2nd inning in succession that they've had the bases loaded. Missing upstairs is Chapman. That's 5 straight balls.
Scott Stanifer has now called time. Going to call the troops together here.
Yeah, I don't think he likes what he sees here from Daniel Chapman, who's just going to spin the ball right now. Can't find the range. I think this is going to be pretty much a one-way conversation. Got to find the range here. You cannot afford to walk in a run the way that Sean Cleary is pitching right now. Steve Kuzer is calling over all of his runners other than Cam Schiller, who's over at first. He's got Novacek over there. He's got Jonathan Lynch crowded around. Kronk up there as well. It's a regular party, Joe.
Yes. We didn't get an invite. Roman Godoy going back down the...
Quickly, too. Very quickly with Leo Latasa sprinting down the line to go get ready. 1 ball, no strikes to Colin Walsh. This one down low, 6 in a row.
Real hitters count here now for Colin Walsh. Chapman has to find a way to find that strike zone right here.
You can't be swinging at anything unless it's right down the hump here. There's a called strike. Now you go swinging. 2-1, still a good hitter's count. Chapman had to show that he could throw a strike. Even here, unless it's right there, I got to expect that Colin Walsh will be taking. Can't chase and give away a strike here. Grounder on the infield. Dudley tossed to second, back to first. Double play. They're out of the inning. 4-6-3 equals 2, and the Dukes get out of it without allowing a run.
Big clutch pitch there by Daniel Chapman to get that infield ball to a good double play.
Right there, you see the toss, the turn, good strong throw to first, easily getting Walsh. Great replay there by our friends at Hinkley Productions. Stay with us here as we head to the top of the fifth.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Boy, it'd be sure nice if Kyle Smith brought us some food, wouldn't it? Just talking off air, Joe Todd, all of the runners that the Kitchener-Hallman Twins have stranded on base tonight, how many?
8 so far, and over 4 innings. By not scoring those runs, that keeps Circle Tap still in this game. Sean Cleary has been masterful out there on the mound.
Blair Ezekiel will come up to make his second plate appearance here in the 5th inning. They left the bases loaded against Leighton Reed, and now Daniel Chapman has left the bases loaded as well. You keep doing that, that's a recipe for disaster, especially in a game this close.
That will catch up to you.
It's a bloop and a closed eyes blast away from being a 2-1 lead for the Dukes. Blair Ezekiel stepping out, stepping in. I'm not sure what that was about. Blair doesn't usually move around too much in the box, but there is a definite slant now to especially the right side batter's box. We'll get a shot at close-up there of the batter's box when we get a chance, and you'll see the tilt. Boland moving out, moving in. Ground ball cutting in front. Andy Skelton, sidearm sling across the infield for the out.
Good play by Andy Skelton to charge that ball.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to make its way out to Cam Schiller, but a good third baseman will come across and cut that off, and it's a much easier play for the third baseman to make that throw going across the infield than it is for a shortstop to have to throw it across the body.
Well, he's got his momentum flowing that way, too.
Dudley, first pitch swinging, pops it straight up and out of play. That one is going to go over the bill. Oh, no, it's going to be on the roof and come right back down, and there's a scramble for it because you get a quarter, Joe, for foul balls. I know you've been picking them up. I've been going after the home run balls where you get paid $1.
That's a quarter U.S., though, too.
Good point, but it's also $1 U.S. So, been saving all of those. Dudley, strikeout victim, back in the second. And swing and a miss there over the top. Got to keep the head in. Dudley had the head turned as he was swinging. See what you hit, and didn't there.
Great pitch by Sean Cleary.
Swing and a miss upstairs. Big cut. Catches Ryan Boland with the follow-through. Boland felt that one. And Matt Ratliff commiserating a little bit with Ryan Boland. And Boland is going to go take a bit of a walk out towards the mound and try and shake that one off. Randy McLean will let him go. You got to look after your catchers when you're an umpire, especially when they wear one like that.
They protect him, too. Ryan Boland and the umpires. Umpires and catchers have a good rapport between each other.
I can only imagine what Ryan Boland is saying out there right now about getting hit in the mask with that follow-through. Sean Cleary is going to come in and ask if he can get a different ball, and now the trainer is going to come out to check on Ryan Boland. Listen, Boland is as tough as anybody. Cleary gets a new ball, but I'd like to see what the conversation is with Boland out on the mound. They're looking at his hand, are they?
I think so.
The glove hand. He's got the glove off, and they're looking at the left hand right now. Well, it's definitely bothering Ryan Boland. He's saying, I got it on the back of the hand. Yeah.
A lot of small bones up in there.
Randy McLam inquiring. It's a little bit funny, but I can tell you that if Ryan Boland is feeling it, it is definitely painful then, because this guy is as tough as they come. I was talking with Ryan during the first rain delay by text, and he says to me, well, when are you going to start the streaming going? And I said, well, as soon as you stop bothering me. So Matt Ratliff steps in with 2 down, first pitch swinging, a nice easy 2-hopper out to Jeff Novacek, and another quick inning for Sean Cleary as the Dukes go down in order here in the 5th. We're going to go to the bottom half. Twins still nursing that 1-0 lead. Stay with us.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages and come be a part of the experience.
And that's the kind of action that you get to see at the ISC World Tournament. Nobody's crashing through any artificial fences here this week. We've got a 16-footer here at John Miller Field in Circle Tap, so that's a different experience indeed. But you get to see all of the action at the ISC World Tournament. You also get to see it here on the ISC Network. We're thrilled to be working with Hinckley Productions here in Wisconsin and bringing you all the sights and sounds of the ISC World Tournament.
Real good crowd here for a Friday night. A lot of people surrounding.
A rainy Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, people came to the ballpark. They want to see the hometown Dukes. They want to see good fastball. They're getting both of it here tonight. One more to come after this. It will be the New York Gremlins and the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs in the winner's bracket final, also known as the undefeated game. Kronk has the RBI in this game. That was a single all the way back in the bottom of the first. Here's a little spinner on the infield, and Tyler Dudley throws it away. Had more time than he thought, Joe Todd, and he could have planted to make that play, but chose to throw it on the run and throws it away, giving a base to Marshall Kronk.
Exactly. Tyler Dudley charged the ball well, but then his feet were not planted as he let his throw go. The old plenty of time. Again, you talked about the fact of Marshall Kronk going down that line. Plenty of time to step and throw.
Well, we get a pinch runner for Marshall Kronk, and that looks to be number 6, Gonzalo Masmu, who has done some pinch running here this week, but not much else. But a good spot to get somebody in to run for Kronk here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Burns called on to bunt and bunts this one foul.
A lot of frustration setting in there.
Oh, my goodness. You can just feel the frustration burning on Patrick Burns. This guy is a world-class ball player. He's a top-level pitcher. You saw what he can do at the WBSC in the Czech Republic, single-handedly pitching Canada to the bronze medal over New Zealand in that game.
Struck out twice, so he thought he'd lay down a bunt, thinking, I can easily lay down a bunt, get something going.
Well, they took the bunt sign off and swung over the top of that one. 0-2 on Patrick Burns. And inside, off the glove, and up to second goes Gonzalo Masmu. So, Patrick, you did the job. You got him up to second base, and now you got a chance to bring him in.
Burns has to protect that plate now with 2 strikes. Anything close.
Fouled straight back to the screen. That one up in the zone quite a bit, but Burns looked like he was about to get on top of it, Joe, but just fouled it back.
Just waiting for his pitch now.
Well, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think you said it. He's got to protect right now. Blair Ezekiel well off the bag at first. And a changeup, and picked up by Federico Eder, but Burns will beat this one out. It's an infield single. Patrick Burns will take it any way that he can get it. Eder went a long way into the hole on the backhand turn, made the throw to first. It was on line, but Burns was already past the bag as the ball arrived. And a big smile from Patrick Burns over there with Coach Ron Hackett. Relief.
Feel like he just won the lottery.
Oh, the stress bleeding off of Patrick Burns right now. And there's a bunt attempt there by Ryan Boland, but he pokes it foul down the first base side. Because that ball was in front of him, Gonzalo Masmu was unable to advance away from second. So we've still just got the runners at first and second. Boland at the plate with nobody out. A bunt here. A good idea, Joe, even though I'm not a big fan of the small ball game with a 1-0 precarious lead here. If you could put a couple of guys into scoring position, why not? Boland taking all the way. No sign of a bunt on that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I'm going to contradict you here. I wouldn't put the bunt sign on, but...
What?
Yeah. Well,
pardon?
Well, just the fact that you
Who
do
are
have
you,
a runner...
What have you done with Joe Todd?
Yeah. Just with the fact that you got a runner in scoring position, you got good wheels out on the base pass. Both those gentlemen out on those base pass can run the bases extremely well. And I think you got a good power hitter at the plate.
I agree with you 100%. The reason I'm doing it is because it's only a 1-0 lead, and it's getting late in the game here. I want both these guys in scoring position. And there's a great-looking changeup. Ryan Boland unable to hold back on that one. Down on strikes. The reason I would have done it there, Joe, is just to get both of them in scoring position and take the force off.
Well, the big thing, I kind of looked at the fact that Andy Skelton was coming up next, and Andy has struggled at the plate.
It's not a deep bench for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Just 4 guys on the bench. Gonzalo Masmu already in the game. Scott Life is a pitcher. Zach Shaw and Jordan Pomeroy. Pomeroy, a rookie out of Newfoundland, here for the learning experience. He's actually a pretty decent stick, too. Can swing the bat, but you're not going to put him for Skelton. This one off of Dudley, ricochets, and bases are loaded. Dudley can't find the handle on a couple of these plays here. These are the ones that you've got to make in these situations. But right now, Joe, a couple of E4s.
Yes, just not a regular occurrence for Tyler Dudley to be playing like that.
Kept the ball in the infield. Bases are loaded. Hasn't cost them a run yet. We'll see if they can escape a 3rd consecutive inning with the bases loaded, the circle top Dukes. Chapman, you see him spin the hand there, wants a different sign. Swing and a miss by Novacek. They got out of it with the double play the last time, 4-6-3 with Colin Walsh. When it was Leighton Reed, he got the big strikeout.
Novacek had that hard-laced ball out to right field last time, right against the fence.
Chapman, I think maybe Joe is struggling to see the signs a little bit there with Van Lieshout. And this one is lifted up. It's in short right. Dudley hauls it in. Throw, here's the tag, the play at the plate. Safe at the plate. Van Lieshout was up the line a little bit. The dive around the tag. Love to see a replay on that one if we can. Van Lieshout, someone in disbelief, wondering how he could possibly have gotten around him. There you see the catch by Dudley, the turn and the spin, and he is past him with the slide. What a fantastic replay. Thank you, Hinckley Productions. Absolutely bang-on call by Randy McLam. No question about it. He is past him there with the slide and onto home plate. What a great replay. Fantastic.
Great aggressive base running there by that third base coach.
Well, Steve Kuzer rolling the dice there a little bit, taking the chance that it was going to be a difficult catch and throw for Tyler Dudley over there in short right. And he rolls a lucky 7.
Hallman Twins finally picking up that second run. Ball hit down the left field line, but foul.
Sorry, I lost it. Good call there, Joe. Thank you for picking me up. I entirely lost it. It's not often you see a sac fly to the second baseman, but that's indeed what we got for Jeff Novacek. He picks up the RBI, the second one of the game. And Jonathan Lynch here, who is 2 for 2 already. And the Twins now with a 2-0 lead, an opportunity to break this one open here against Daniel Chapman. Called a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jonathan Lynch. Time called at the plate as Chapman backs off. I do wonder whether he's struggling to see the signs with Zane Van Lieshout.
It's kind of in between with the timing of the lights and the night. The darkness coming in.
Yeah, this misses just outside. It's at that point where the lights are taking effect, but it's not full dark yet. There you see the signs from Van Lieshout. You can see them there. And up and in.
Great shot by our center field camera showing the crowd around home plate.
Change up, chased it. Strike 3, Lynch tried to reach out and touch someone with that. But the Twins pick up an insurance run. They now lead 2-0 through 5 complete here on the ISC Network. Stay with us.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat. Back-to-back Jacks! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis, 3-peats. Adam Falkard, absolutely perfect.
Here comes a throw to the plate. The United Kids are the world champions.
2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Excitingly, it's Adam on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
So who will get the opportunity to leap into somebody's arms at the conclusion of the ISC World Tournament? Will it be somebody on the New York Gremlins? Will it be Manuel Godoy, who's done it a couple of times this summer for the Circle Tap Dukes with Argentina? Or will it be maybe somebody on the Hallman Cubs? Might be Hill United. We've still got a lot of ball to be played between now and about 9 o'clock-ish on Saturday evening.
Stay tuned.
Josh White for Circle Tap. Early is late, Joe. We're in the 6th. Circle Tap now chasing 2.
Sean Cleary facing batters 7, 8, 9 this inning. So if he can avoid that, well, he's already avoided the fact of seeing that top part of that Circle Tap lineup 3 or 4 times. Good, clean score sheet.
7, 8, 9, as you said, all 3 down on strikes. That back in the 3rd inning. And this one is lifted foul up and out of play on the right side. Somebody might have got a souvenir up on the deck, Joe. Darren Derricks put a lot of time, effort, and resources into refurbishing Circle Tap and the John Miller Field for this event. And the crowds here paying off for Darren Derricks this week. It's been absolutely jam-packed around this concourse level for the entire week. And even during the daytime, Joe, the crowds have been really good. The place fills up at night. People continuing to come in, seeing the hometown Circle Tap Dukes. We've got the winner's bracket final coming up after this one. And it's just been an absolutely great ISC World Tournament experience from a fan perspective. A little bit of rain today, but the weather has been mostly cooperative here through the week. It's been warm but not oppressive. The nights have been a little bit cooler but not cold. There's not been a lot of wind to make it biting. It's really just been a great, fabulous experience here at the 2019 ISC World Tournament. Just misses.
Just a little bit at the top part of that strike zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Josh White. I don't think Cleary's gone to a full count tonight, has he?
I don't think so, and if it has, it's just been once.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Josh White. That will bring up Zane Van Lieshout.
Catcher number 73, Zane Van Lieshout.
So if anybody's also following along on Point Streak, in addition to the broadcast here, it is absolutely 2-0 for the Twins. I guess maybe perhaps Point Streak falling a bit behind. But indeed, 2-0 as the run absolutely counted. The changeup, the opener to Zane Van Lieshout way out in front. And Joe, I know you don't like that. I do, because it just now throws off the timing for the rest of the at-bat. Got him thinking, geez, am I going to see that again?
Yeah. One of the downfalls for me anyway were especially throwing that changeup down at 8 and 9 in the order.
Speeds up the at-bat. I hear you from that perspective. Want to say hello to Aaron Durand, listening back in the Ottawa area. Her and Brad Pender in their new home. This one is lifted up and out.
Well, the number 3 seed Kitchener-Hallman Twins against the number 4 seed Circle Top Dukes have put on a great show tonight.
And it's not over. Cleary kicks, deals, just misses outside to Van Lieshout now. 1-2. One down here in the inning. Van Lieshout, the 8 batter. On deck is Tommy Crouch, designated player in tonight's lineup. Swing and a miss. Down goes Van Lieshout. Cleary has really got all the pitches working tonight, Joe. The rise ball, the inside drop, the changeup, obviously, when he calls on it.
Well, we talked about you have to get to Sean Cleary early. As that game progresses, he gains confidence. He's on a roll. All of his pitches are working. 8 strikeouts to this point. Tommy Crouch now at the plate.
Joe, we want to send out a special dedication to somebody really special, near and dear to our hearts, back up in the Keswick area. I want to say hello to John Ziegler, Lake Simcoe Lightning. Toronto Gator teammate as well. And foul back to the screen by Tom Crouch.
Good pitch there by Cleary. Jamming at the hands there of Tommy Crouch.
Cleary kicks, deals, swing and a miss, and that one is out, up and out to Tom Crouch.
Second last pitch on the hands. Last pitch high and outside. What's he going to come back with here?
Changeup? Or do you go down and in?
I would think down and in.
Fouled right back into the screen. It was what Tom Crouch was looking for, and he's upset, going to have a little kick at the fence that he didn't do more with that pitch. He got the one that he wanted, but couldn't do anything with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Sean Cleary got away with that one pitch, too. Not much movement there.
There's the changeup, took something off of it. Crouch over the top, down on strikes. Strikes out the side here in the 6th. Will go to the home half. Twins out in front, 2-0. Good pitchers duel so far. Ramon Godoy coming on. Stay with us.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
There you see Ramon Godoy in the circle now for the Dukes. Godoy, the 3rd pitcher of the evening. Joe Todd, you said earlier it's all hands on deck. They got 3 out of Leighton Reed, 2 from Daniel Chapman, and now they're going to go to Ramon Godoy and try to close the door on the Twins and see if they can scrape something together against Sean Cleary.
Well,
they're running out of time.
Exactly. They do have a fighting chance. They are facing the top part of the order for the Circle Tap Dukes in the top half of the 7th inning. Ryan Sinclair, Federico Eder, and Manuel Godoy. So a real tough part of the order and a good challenge for Sean Cleary and the Hallman Twins. Very important that Roman Godoy come in here and shut the door. You don't even want a base runner. Try and shut the door on the momentum, too, and try and gain your own momentum bringing into the bats.
Yeah, you got to do something here. You can't just keep trying to escape from bases loaded jams inning after inning after inning. It's been 3 straight innings that the Twins have been loading the bases. They finally pushed across that insurance run to take the 2-1 or the 2-0 lead in the 5th. But it'd be great if you're a Twins fan to push something across here in the 6th again. On the other hand, for Godoy, as you said, you got to shut the door.
Hallman have left 10 runners on base in 5 innings.
Boy, that's a village. Migliavaca singled, scored in the 1st, ground out in a strikeout since. And thinking bunt, but on the outside corner.
Oh.
Off the base there. And again, Teo Migliavaca doing the job, gets the ball down, and no defense against that, Joe.
Well, that ball had a lot of spin on that ball when it left the bat. Josh White picked the ball up, thought he had a cue ball going there. Great bunt by Teo Migliavaca for a bunt signal to start off the inning.
Right back to the screen. Schiller, single, double, walk, been on base all 3 times. Can't get around to score, though. He's been up to 2nd and 3rd. And called a strike. I'd put Migliavaca here in motion. Joey runs very well. Stay out of the double play. Maybe try
hit and run.
A hit. Well, it's 0-2, so it's not ideal, but
yeah,
I'd certainly have him maybe just on the straight steal. I'd be looking to get him on the move. Long look in from Godoy. Set up his outside. Little chopper to White. He's not going to be able to go to 2nd. They go to 1st, and they get Cam Schiller. That ball was a little slow roller. No opportunity to get the speedy Migliavaca, and the wise choice by Josh White to get Schiller at 1st.
Good gun by White to fire that ball over to first base. The speedy wheels of Cam Schiller going down that line made that a close play.
Colin Walsh, a double tonight, but also grounded into that beauty 4-6-3 double play. Swing and a miss here at that offering from Roman Godoy. That double play was in the 4th and was one of the many times that the Dukes have wriggled off the hook. Called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down here. Bottom of the 6th. If you're looking forward to the top of the 7th for the Dukes, it's the top of the shop. Sinclair, Eder, and Godoy. Got some business to take care of first here. Just outside, Walsh, good eye at the plate. Walsh moving over to the Twins from the Cubs. Spent a couple of years with the sister organization, or the brother organization, I guess. Let's go with that. And there's that great world-class changeup, a flip of the bat. Colin Walsh will head back to the dugout down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. And we'll go back to Marshall Cronk. Cronk re-entered into the game. He's got the RBI in the first inning, and it was his spot that scored, albeit Gonzalo Masmu pinch running and a beautiful dive slide around Zane Van Lieshout, that in the fifth. And down low from Godoy. Godoy pitched 5 innings earlier today in the win over Fargo, picking up the W for Circle Tap. Been battling some shoulder inflammation all year long, and it was Huemo Mata who took the ball for Argentina in both the World Championships over in Prague as well as the Lima Pan Am Games. Emerged as the ace for Argentina. I think all of us, Joe, would have picked Ramon Godoy heading into those tournaments as the Argentina ace, but Mata coming out of it.
He won those last 2 games on his own.
This pitch had some snap. Van Lieshout, a little unclear. It's actually Latassa. My apologies. It's Leo Latassa who's come on to catch here for Godoy. Should have picked up on that.
Yep.
He does most of the catching for Ramon Godoy. So Latassa in. Not sure if they moved Van Lieshout out. They can always pinch hit if they need to, but that spot wouldn't come up until all the way down to 8th in the order. So we'd have a way to go before that came up.
Not sure if Leo Latassa was going out to change the signals with a runner at second base or not.
Well, they did a lot of back and forth in the game with Fargo. As much as these two worked together, we weren't quite sure whether they were on the same page or not. There's a called strike. 3-1 now on Marshall Cronk. On deck is Pat Burns, and maybe discretion the better part of valor, Joe, if you do pitch around Marshall to go after Pat Burns. And it seems to me that was kind of like the game plan all along. Stay away from the power of Cronk and go after the guy who has been struggling a little bit in the lineup. Patrick Burns had that infield single. That was back in the 5th inning. I've never seen a guy so relieved to get down to first.
Sometimes that's all it takes, too, to get on that positive side.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can build off of that, and Burns here takes a strike from Godoy. The armchair umpires down in the seats are letting Randy McLam know that they're happy with that called strike. And that one just outside. You've got a great view of it there from that center field camera. Judge for yourself. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. 2 down here in the inning. Runners out at first and second. Inside to Patrick Burns.
I like the nice, smooth movement of Roman Godoy. Just nice, great delivery. Minimize the quantity of steps taken on the mound.
And there's a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 men aboard. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kitchener-Hallman Twins would love to extend this lead. 2-run lead for them. The Dukes need to close the door and then rally the bats in the top of the 7th. Time called by Burns. He's want to do a little landscaping there in the box. Godoy with the lean and the changeup. Hit hard, but a flip from Eder to Dudley covering second. They're out of the inning. We will go to the top of the 7th. Sean Cleary looking to close the door.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
So it is indeed last call for Circle Tap here at Circle Tap. Top of the shop. Sinclair, Eder, Godoy. A mixture of flyouts, groundouts, pop-ups, and strikeouts.
Center fielder number 65, Ryan Sinclair.
Sinclair had a strong week here for the Circle Tap Dukes. Really emerged from a 9-batter up to a very good leadoff hitter here this week. This one is fouled straight up and coming in hard as this one is going to fall right in behind the screen there. You can see a whole bunch of people going after that one. I always like when people look up and think they're going to throw the ball over the backstop when there's a convenient basket right there. And that was a foul tip off the bat. No, or was it? I guess not. They say no on the swing. I thought it tipped the bat, Joe, on the way in.
I think it tipped Ryan's glove and went up and tipped home plate umpire Randy McLam.
Okay, well, at least it tipped something. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sinclair.
Great rise ball there by Cleary. That ball just jumping tonight.
Well, he's had it his way all night long. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sinclair set at the back of the box. Swing and fouls that one back. Boland upset that he couldn't hang on to that one. I don't know how you could.
Sean's still up in his count now.
So still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ryan Sinclair. And there's the changeup, and that one is the first one, Joe, that he's thrown in the dirt all night long. That ricocheted off the glove, and really one of the few bad pitches that Sean Cleary has thrown tonight.
Just never had a proper grip, I'm sure, on that ball.
Upstairs from Sean Cleary, 3-2. We wondered earlier about full counts. Honestly, this is the first one that I think I can remember.
Yes, I believe so.
Several 2-2s, but a 3-2 count here. Ball 4. First base runner of the evening for the Circle Tap Dukes, and it is Ryan Sinclair aboard on a walk.
Number 11, Federico Eder.
That brings us to Federico Eder. ever dangerous. Nobody's been able to keep him off base an entire game yet. Just misses off the outside corner.
That first out in that last inning is always the toughest.
Eder dropped down a bunt in the first, but it was fielded well by Cleary. Swing and a miss there. And then tried the little short swing, Joe, and it was caught in very, very shallow center by Teo Migliavaca, who came a long way to get that off the bat of Eder.
One of the many defensive gems we've seen tonight.
Swing and a miss, took something off that. Sean Cleary now out in front, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Federico Eder.
Real nice pitch there by Sean Cleary. Really setting up the pitch sequence here. What's he going to throw next? He's got Federico Eder just guessing up there right now.
Well, he's got him swinging twice at the rise ball at the letters. They go back to that. It's bunted hard, picked up nicely by Andy Skelton, who is learning a new position on the fly, Joe Todd. A one-hop hard bunt, and Andy Skelton come across a sidearm throw to second, and they erase a speedy Ryan Sinclair at second. That's a gem by Andy Skelton.
Great reflexes and the ability to charge that ball. Andy not sitting on his heels.
So Eder aboard on the fielder's choice, and Manuel Godoy will come to the plate. And this one is well hit to center field. A dive, and it's not caught.
I believe it was caught. I believe it was caught. Yeah.
Oh, Teo Migliavaca stealing away a base hit from Manuel Godoy. Wow, what a great play out there by Teo Migliavaca, who had to go 12, 13 steps to his right, full extension dive, and steals that off the shoe tops. Here's the replay. Cleary looks back, thinks it's going to fall, and right there you see him come across and make the catch. A beauty. What camera work, too. Back to the live action, Blair Ezekiel.
Well, he had to catch that ball. If he misses that ball, that might be an inside the Parker.
And that might have been 2 runs, too. So a big play indeed by Teo Migliavaca. Outstanding camera work and replay by Hinckley Productions. Ezekiel downstairs, 2-0. These two only see each other about 14 times a month in the St. John's League back home in Newfoundland and Labrador, one of the top men's fastball leagues on the planet.
Blair strictly a pull hitter, so the infield, left side of the infield, very aware of that.
Swing and a miss by Blair Ezekiel. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Ezekiel has got a flair for the dramatic. We've seen him more than once in this type of situation launch a ball out of the park to get his team back to square. In fact, it was a year ago, Joe Todd, a year ago tomorrow, you were working that game where the Twins chose to pitch to Blair Ezekiel with a base open. He made them pay, launching one out of the park. It actually put them ahead at the time. Can history repeat itself here? Ground ball. Andy Skelton turns the flip to first. No hitter for Sean Cleary. The Kitchener-Hallman Twins win 2-0 and will advance to championship Saturday. Masterful performance by Sean Cleary.
Well, last night, Sean Cleary pitched a 1-hitter and lost. He didn't want to take any chances tonight, so he threw a no-hitter.
Threw the no-hitter. So 14 innings for Sean Cleary, has only given up 1 hit in those last 14 innings. Outstanding effort by the righty from St. John's.
Well-played game.
For the Circle Tap Dukes, just coming up short of reaching championship Saturday. They were the finalists last year. They'll be finished in a tie for 5th this year. That's how hard it is in the ISC, Joe Todd, to have that success.
Shows you the strength of that whole ISC program and the love of the game for it.
They do have beer in the original pen, but they have
Circle Tap Dukes acknowledging the crowd out there, their fan base.
And, Joe, we're going to try to get Sean Cleary, if we can, for an interview. We'll see whether Sean, who is notoriously press shy, whether we can get him or not. Kyle Smith waiting to see if he can get Sean after the huddle. But just a supreme effort here right now, and it was a team effort, Joe, too. I mean, he finishes with 7, 8, 9 Ks, I think. But, you know, you think about that play by Teo Migliavaca to preserve the no-hitter here with 2 outs, or with 1 out, rather, in the 7th.
Big catch back in the 4th.
Yeah, you have a big catch back there in the 4th as well. It has been a stellar evening for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins and for Sean Cleary in particular. We'll look to see if Kyle Smith can get Sean or if he can get maybe catcher Ryan Boland. We'll see. Looks like he's going to get Sean to agree, and they're going to get set for the interview here. We'll give them the signal. Let's go to, if we can, Kyle Smith and Sean Cleary.
Thanks, Blair. Sean, great performance tonight. No hitter, carried that perfect game, but all 3 pitches working tonight. How'd you feel?
I feel pretty good. It's a nice, cool night here, relatively cool night, and me and Ryan had good stuff going tonight, so in the show.
Getting ready for tomorrow, another big contest, another big day. What are you thinking about tomorrow as we get ready?
I just got to get ready. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. 3 to win it. And it's going to be, we've been there before, and it's certainly not an easy road, but it's doable.
Good luck, congrats, and have a good night.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Sean Cleary, Blair, send it back to you.
Sean Cleary, typically humble, and you're never going to get the braggadocio from Sean Cleary, understanding what it takes to get there to the championship game. He's been there before, and as he says, Joe, it's doable, but it's going to take a lot to do it.
Well, it's 3 games, and again, he talked about while he was being interviewed with Kyle, they've done it before, so they got some work at hand. They know the task at hand, so they can complete it.
So we'll see if they're able to do that tomorrow on Championship Saturday. But stay with us. Coming up, New York Gremlins, Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. It's the winner's bracket final coming up on the ISC Network. For Joe Todd, Kyle Smith, I'm Blair Setford signing off. Thank you and good night.